Welcome to eRider. Today we're going to be unboxing and setting up the HiBoy P6 e-bike. If you want to check out this exact same e-bike, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links, but let's get this open. A very large box and a price point of currently listed at $1,400, but there's like a $340, $350 coupon. So around $1,000 to $1,100 is what I personally paid. Check the links below for current pricing. And being an avid mountain bike rider, the biggest thing that made me attracted to this bike is the 750 watt motor in the rear, and the frame just looks really, really good. Also, after the review process, I'm actually gonna be looking into upgrading this bike with new front forks and possibly making this into a genuinely good mountain bike that is electric. But let's check it out. So first thing we see is the packaging looks really, really good. They also have these fat tires, which is great for not only grip, but also for just ride comfort. Having these fat tires is gonna make the ride a significant amount more comfortable. Okay, so the front forks look like they're here. Here are the handlebars, which we can cut those. I'm assuming this is gonna be a little bit more of an intense setup process than like an e-scooter. We'll cut this as well. We're gonna have to put on the front tire, but that also doesn't look like it's gonna be a big deal. Here is the seat, which we'll unwrap, and that comes right out because the quick release wasn't done yet, which is fine. And wow, the seat actually looks really good. There is some suspension on the back of that seat, which I don't know if I'm capable of pushing down because that's probably a lot more weight. You have a reflector back there, which looks pretty easy to take off if you would like. There's also numbers, so you can actually like get your height in, which is a nice little feature, but the seat looks very comfortable. I'm actually really impressed with the quality of the seat. This does not look like some cheap piece of crap. Like it looks really decent actually. We'll put that aside. Now, we're starting to get our first glimpse at the frame itself, and this looks like a really well-built frame, good welds here. Honestly, I'm surprised at how good this frame looks, but let's get it out of the box. We gotta cut this next to the tire. Don't puncture the tire loss. All right, and we have some more packaging right here. There are a lot of zip ties here. We also get a Shimano crankset. So you're getting like name brand stuff. You're not just getting some cheap crap. Obviously the crankset doesn't look amazing. This is still a fairly inexpensive e-bike, but we do get a Bafang motor, which is like very, very good. Again, it's name brand stuff that's probably gonna be very reliable. Another reason that I was very attracted to this e-bike. All right, let's see if we can pull out this wheel. Maybe not. Maybe we're gonna have to pull out the whole thing. It's heavy though, I'll say that. This is heavy. I think we're gonna have to pull the whole thing out. All right, pull more. Okay, a little bit more. Okay, can you grab that? Oh, the wheel's still connected. All right, okay, come on. Oh, yeah, she's heavy. So a two-man lift if you don't want to lay it on its side. The wheel is still connected in a lot of spots. They did a great job on the packaging. Honestly, wasn't expecting it to be packaged quite this well. Nice amounts of protection. I mean, this doesn't look like there is anything scratched anywhere. You also see good packaging on the backs of these. Let's continue on. Okay, so taking apart this, we can get a glimpse at that front fork, and you can see here, I'm actually initially really impressed. These stanchions are quite thick here. This doesn't look like a piece of crap, but really these front forks look very, very beefy. They actually look quite good. I don't love the silver. Obviously, that kind of does look a little bit more cheap, but I believe that this is an air fork rather than a coil spring, so it should be more dialed into your weight. There is preload on the left, ABS Plus on the right. Not actually sure what that is. If you know in the comments, let me know. Okay, continuing to unbox that, that's where the battery is gonna sit down there. Guys, so far, I'm actually really excited about this bike. And I'm not taking this on easy stuff. We're gonna do some city commuting, which I'm sure this can obviously do, but I'm gonna be going on hard mountain bike trails. I'm gonna take this off of jumps. We're gonna do everything with this and see how it fares so that you guys make sure that you're getting something that you know, well, that you know what you're getting. Let's continue on. These are the handlebars. Initially, I don't love all of that wiring there. I wish that was cleaned up a little bit, but how much can you really expect? We've got another tie right here. This is obviously gonna be a bigger setup process than like a scooter. Got another tie right here. All right, and initially, this is our cockpit. So we've got a key. We've got a physical key. That is super interesting. They even had plastic over the key to make sure it didn't scratch it. I love that. I think that that is really, really nice. The last thing you want is your brand new e-bike to be scratched. So we have keys. Where does that, does it come with a lock maybe? So you can also see here, we've kind of got your like actual gear indicator, which on real mountain bikes, you don't usually have. The brakes, which don't worry, this is not the front brake, it's the rear brake. These are cable brakes. I can feel them initially. That is not a hydraulic brake. However, we can actually look into upgrading that to hydraulic. That might be something really cool that we might be able to do. But that's something we'll do not just after the review, which will be coming in about a week. I'm gonna use this daily and see how it is. Okay, let's continue with this unboxing process. It's very exciting for me. Most of these like cheaper e-bikes, which again, this is definitely not a cheap e-bike, but it is more on that budget side. I mean, this looks really good. We have our crankset here. So there you can see, this is a 1x drivetrain, which I like. It's a real Shimano crankset. You can see here, Shimano, and this is the Altos. Which is not like the most high-end out there, but it does mean that everything's gonna be pretty much standard. So if you do wanna upgrade this bike, really what you're getting is that motor, all of the electronics, and then this frame, which actually looks really, really, I mean, this thing is very solid. It's obviously probably aluminum. It could be steel, but I'm assuming that this is aluminum. Initially, this thing looks very beefy. It looks like it's gonna be a very, very strong frame. All right, in the box, there is another box. I am assuming that that is going to be our hardware. And yeah, so we get our charge cable here and our charging brick. It's definitely on the bigger side of charging bricks. I believe this is a full 48-volt system. We actually get, looks like legit, wow, looks like actually kind of legit, kind of, they have the reflectors on them, which I believe might actually be like a requirement for all bikes to come with. I seem to remember that when buying some of my mountain bikes, but these are actually like metal pedals, which even on like, when you get like $4,000 mountain bikes, they just come with crappy plastic ones. This isn't gonna be quite as good as like real mountain bike ones, but we're gonna put these on and see how they do. I hate the reflectors, but again, it is safer. So if you're riding in the city, it's probably better to have. Okay, also we have, looks like a light, which we can install, which is very cool. Some night trail rides or night city riding could be really good. 4 big LEDs. Doesn't feel like the most high quality, but at least they include it, right? Okay, also in the box, we've got some wrenches and hex wrenches, and then we've got our quick release. Now this is the only thing that I don't like. And if you don't know quick releases, you can see how thin that metal is. It's just not going to be as strong as something like a through axle, which is significantly more beefy. It's a thicker axle in the front. For city riding and light mountain bike riding, even taking jumps, like you should be able to do it on this, but I'm gonna test that. All right, let's get these handlebars on. Now, if you've never put handlebars on for a mountain bike or any bike that has this style, it's very, very easy. You're just gonna unscrew these screws, the bottom ones as well, set that aside. We're gonna grab our handlebars, put them the correct direction, okay? Also make sure that you're not twisting these. We don't wanna twist these, so make sure it's not the wrong direction. You can see our brakes are this way, so you wanna line it up like this. You can also see there is the center point, so that's where it needs to be lined up. Line up that center point, put this back up there, and one of the coolest things is that this is all standard. So you can actually like switch these out for different handlebars very easily if you want to. All you would do is just take all of the electronics off of the handlebars and just use those on your new handlebars. So that's very cool. So we're gonna slightly tighten those. You can see it's locked in. Let's take our top screws. If you are nervous about the setup process, just follow along with this video and you'll be completely okay. This is actually very, very simple. Once it's starting to get tight, let's make sure that these are absolutely dead center. Okay, now with that all set up, let's move on to the next thing it says to do. I'm not just making this up. We're gonna do the front wheel now. So here is the like plastic, basically protector. We've got our skewer here, and we need to take off this little piece. And we're gonna get this wheel. Make sure that you're lining up the brakes with the brakes over there. So over here, you can see you wanna line that rotor up in the brakes. And there we go, setting it right on there. Actually, this might be a lot easier to put the kickstand down. There, it comes in handy at least once. We're gonna take our skewer here, and we're gonna unscrew this end screw from the skewer, take off this little ring as well, slide this through. You can see, slide it through just like that. Come to the other side, slip this little spring on that, and then take that other side of the skewer and screw that on. Now, you're not gonna screw it on all the way. That's not how a quick release works. Make sure that on the other side, that is open, not closed. This is the action that's actually gonna tighten it. So make sure that's up. screw the other side in, not until it's super tight, but until it's snug. And then you can test this. So when I pull it, see that's too tight because there's too much tension right there. So unscrew that right side. We're gonna actually go up this way. So it needs a little bit more tension, a little too much tension. And that is a good amount right there. And there we go. Now we got our wheel in, guys. See how easy that is? And we get our first glimpse of just how good this bike looks. You can also see the battery. That's what the key's for. So we've got a key slot on this other side. So we can insert our key there. And I think that's what's gonna allow us to unlock it. And that's the battery. Actually not that heavy. I mean, it's heavy for sure. This is all metal right here. I believe that's all metal as well. This is a very well built battery. And you can also see our connection point sits in right down there. We've got a few different connection points. Very, very cool. I like the design. That's the locking mechanism, which is very nice. Let's try sliding it again. And it looks like we should be able to use that to maybe charge this outside of the bike, which could be a massive pro, especially if you're in an area that, you know, you can't necessarily charge it that easily in the bike. And there we go. And then we'll, oh, no, that's unlock it. Okay, so as soon as you press it in, it's locked. And then a little battery gauge. It's a green light, so I'd assume that it's fairly well charged. With that, let's get these like real metal pedals on there, which again, I'm pretty impressed with. And we're just gonna twist these on there. Make sure you're not cross-threading. Don't add a lot of force when you're doing these. Just let it go in. Once it's in like that, obviously it's gonna start turning like that, which I can tell you right away, these pedals suck. There's not a whole lot of turning. I'm definitely gonna have to switch these out in the upgrade video. So make sure to subscribe for that video coming soon. We're gonna torque those on and, oh, that's pretty good. Very easy, guys. Now, one of the things you need to remember that I don't know how I forgot and struggling here like an absolute idiot is that these go opposite. So these screw in the opposite way so that you don't unscrew them when riding, which is the most obvious thing to ever think, and I completely forgot about that, but yeah. So again, look we're pushing this to the left, so lefty-tighty, righty-loosey is how you do pedals. You gotta kind of rework it. I was just sitting here for like 35 seconds just screwing it in the wrong way, going like, why isn't this going in? No, you just gotta screw it the right direction. Okay, now let's put the seat on. Now this is very simple. When you get on your bike, if you don't know how to put a seat on correctly, if you want it for when you're climbing, if you're going over a bunch of rocks, you should have your seat a little bit lower, but when you're actually just riding to make sure you have full pedal length, when you get on your seat, you should not be able to just climb onto your seat. I'm just gonna set it right here, which is fairly low. Tighten that bolt on the other side before putting this in. So we're just gonna put it right there. Make sure she's straight. That's nice and tight now. Now I think just the headlight, which we do have a plug for right here. So this yellow to yellow, very, very simple. Line up the little hole and then press that in. You can hear that that's a tight seal because I think that is a watertight seal, which I would hope. And this actually goes in this little screw hole right here. So we're gonna unscrew the back of that and then slide that through and retighten that. And that's how that sits. Very interesting. This one's a bit more wonky to do, but now to give you an idea of just how easy the setup process is, this is actually the hardest part of setup just because of how wonky putting that hex wrench in there is. But you can always leave off the light if you don't want it. But I think it'll be worth it. It's just a little bit wonky on how they have it set up here. And I believe that's it. I think that's fully built. See how easy that was? A little bit of time. All right, now we're gonna go take this for a ride. Before we do that, I'm gonna take this reflector off. You don't have to. This is not advice on legally what to do or anything, but I am gonna go ahead and take these reflectors off. And there's also some on the wheels, but they do make them very easy to take off. And obviously, if you guys are riding in the city, probably not the most recommended thing to do. But if you wear reflectors on your clothes instead, that's maybe a better aesthetic way to do it. But again, not giving advice here, just personally what I like to do with my bikes. Let's come check out this panel here. There's a little bit of what looks like some plastic on it, or I hope it's some plastic because there is a little scratch or something right there. Yes, okay, there is some plastic. I was getting worried there for a second. Oh, it scratched right off. Yep, there we go. Okay, good. They have great packaging. The handlebars, the grips on the handlebars absolutely suck. These are horrible. These do not add any grip. They're so bad. I am 100% taking these off in the upgrade video, but for the review, I'm gonna keep them there. We have a light, which is actually a toggle. It presses in, stays there. We have a horn, which is just a press in, press out, but let's turn this on. Is it just holding this button? Yes, ooh, a nice and bright display. We have an odometer here with up to like 99,000 miles, which is pretty awesome. We have different modes here. We have the charge right here, so it's at about half or maybe somewhere in between there. And then we have the miles an hour. Mode 0, that's pretty cool. Mode 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, and mode 5, wow, okay, so you have a lot of different, what I would assume to be power modes. Okay, so this actually is more like a motorcycle throttle. It's not the entire side right here, it's just this part, which actually kind of saddens me a little bit because these grips suck. So I'm gonna turn this off so it does not do a wheelie inside. But this is the throttle right there. So you can see when you're doing this, you kind of go like that, which again, I don't love because you're kind of like gripping that and it doesn't feel great. But this also does have sensors, so when you're pedaling, it should do it. So with that, let's go for our first ride. All right, guys, the HiBoy P6. There she is, got all the cameras on, and I think we're ready to go. I aired up the tires. The front did need some air. Let's go ahead and turn this on. There we go. Hop on here. We're gonna use the throttle to get going. Oh, wow. Initially, great bite. Great bite from that motor. Wow, that's impressive. Man, when you do compare the 750 watt when compared to like a scooter, way different. This feels like it has much more power here. That's impressive. The only thing that I wish is like a dirt bike, the rear brake was on the other side instead. But still, wow, a lot of torque from the motor, much more than I was expecting here. And this isn't even at full battery. Oh no, it's actually pretty close to full. It says it's full. I'm not sure it's quite full, but yeah, wow, very impressive. The brake's squeaking a little bit and the front brake is rubbing, so we're gonna have to figure that out. But just throttle, there's a little bit of a delay, but this thing gets up to speed. We're going, that's 23, 24 miles, 25 miles an hour, 26 miles an hour, 27. Wow, guys, that's fast. Wow, that wasn't even maxing it out yet. That's very impressive. We're actually gonna go in the bike lane. This is way too fast for the side here. All right, in the bike lane now. We're gonna go full throttle here. No pedaling, just full throttle. This is way faster than I expected. This is a 25 mile per hour road and we're going 27, 28, slightly down a hill. Now regen's kicking in, 28.6. That's the max, 28.6, very, very good. Wow, guys, we are flying. As a commuter, if you want this for much, much faster pace commuting, like, wow, this is really quite good. I mean, 29 miles an hour, 29.3 miles an hour down this hill. All right, we're gonna brake here. Okay, no one's behind us. We're gonna turn left over here. The brakes are a little bit, just not the best here. We haven't even tried the pedaling. We're gonna try pedaling here. And the motor's kicking in a little bit. Let's make it easier to go up this hill. We're gonna use throttle up this hill. Actually, let's increase. We're in mode 5 now. Pedaling up the hill. Oh, it's taking it up this hill. This is an extremely steep hill. And I can actually go up a gear here. Very, very easy. Wow. Guys, the bike feels great. I like the handlebars. The seat's nice and comfortable. And the ride is actually pretty good because not only does it have the front suspension, but these fat tire wheels are great. We're gonna full throttle here with the throttle. This gets up to speed, guys. And we're gonna pedal up here. And the shifting is actually very good because of that Shimano in mode 5, guys. This just takes it up the frickin' hill. I mean, really, I'm going 19 miles up a hill that scooters really can't do. Let's actually go to the road. Let's see how this does. Oop, almost hit that hole right here. Off the curb, it's still a hardtail, right? That suspension isn't amazing, but it's not dialed in yet. We're gonna gear up all the way. We're in 9th gear on mode 5. This thing is like a rocket, guys. This thing takes off. And my seat isn't even at the height that it should be, guys. This is a great e-bike right out of the box. But we could make this a phenomenal e-bike with changing that front suspension, switching out the brakes. Guys, we're going 26 miles an hour max gear, we're gonna use throttle from there because I'm pedaling too fast. This could use a better gearbox. As far as shifting, right away it's very smooth. Feels exactly like it would from any mainstream Shimano bike. I mean, it's that good. I'm hoping that the mic is gonna be able to pick this up because we're going fast. It's windy right here. The bumps are a little bit unsettling. With the fat tire, it takes out a lot of the road's imperfections. Over smooth pavement with a little bit of cracks, it's very comfortable, guys. This also gives you a ton of grip, so the safety here, I can't believe how fast we're commuting. I mean, this is easy. This is stupid easy, guys. You want to pedal just because of how fast it goes. The throttle's not great. The throttle's not great. It should be the whole hand. It shouldn't just be this one little section right there. But I'm going faster than cars would go through here. We've already gone a mile, and that was fast. We went a mile very quickly. All right, let's see how fast this can get up to speed with pedaling only. There we go. It looks like it does actually have, maybe it's not just activated with pedaling, but actually maybe an okay torque sensor. That's something we're gonna have to look at because this thing is just bombing through here. Wow. All right, both brakes here. It's a little squeaky, but plenty of braking power there. That's impressive. Using the throttle, and we're going, guys. And we're going, still in mode 5. Yeah, so it's showing half battery right now, and that's because I think I charged it up a little bit, but not very much, and I think it just was reading full when it actually wasn't full. So this is probably not even full power yet. Now I'm pedaling here, I'm in 9th gear, which is the highest gear. Unfortunately, it's not a 1x10 or 11 or 12, but I'm pretty much maxing out. Like, I don't have to use a whole lot of force, and we're going 26 miles an hour, slightly uphill, but fairly flat. And this is wonderful. I'm pushing it pretty hard, but a little bit out of breath, but mainly just because I'm talking so much. It's very comfortable, except it's a little cold because it's so much wind, but that's because we're going so fast. And that's phenomenal, freaking awesome. As a commuter bike that can also do off-roading, well, we'll see. There's a park up here with some mountain bike trails and very steep hills. And I'm so excited about this that I think we're just gonna go on that right away. I'm not waiting. We're doing it right now. Look at the beautiful mountains. I will say the way that this feels fastest is definitely with pedaling. That's where it's like, man, you just assist this motor a little bit and you're flying. You're flying. And the upper range, the amount of speed that you get on the top end is very good. So for this, you do need to kind of like drop a gear and then pump it up a little bit. We're gonna go to the steepest section of the trails here, which is up here. Very good. Okay, we're gonna drop some gears. We're in 6th or 7th gear. Oh my gosh, going up this hill like it's nothing, guys. Now this is very bumpy here. My feet are slipping off the pedals because these are not great pedals, but I'm gonna drop another gear here. Very rocky terrain. Also, this could definitely benefit from some hydraulic brakes, and the Insta360 hopefully will not get destroyed by these trees. This is a big hump right here. May not look like it on camera. Ooh, but it takes over it extremely nicely. Wow. I'm really impressed with this climbing ability. This is a very steep section here, and my feet are slipping everywhere. No, if you're gonna take this off-road, you need new pedals. I'm gonna use the throttle to help get it over there. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, a few upgrades in this thing would rock trails. The Insta360 is getting hit here, but ooh, this is still fun, even with the pedals slipping like crazy. I'm using the throttle kind of help me over those bumps. Oh, this is fun. Yeah, this is great. I hope the Insta360 can actually get any of this, but we're having a good time here. There's the throttle. Okay, a little bit of wetness here. There we go. Let's pedal up here. We're gonna drop a gear again. We're very muddy, but the freaking fat tires make it over this very rocky terrain incredibly easily. More muddy here, but it doesn't matter because it's got fat tires. Oh yes, We are destroying this extremely steep hill. Wow. I'm a little out of breath because I'm still pumping, right? We're still doing it. But holy crap, this part is exceptionally steep here. Don't want to lose our momentum, but gosh, this is a whole lot easier. Drop another gear, a whole lot easier than doing it myself. Whew. Up the, ooh, that's very steep, but the motor helps with it. Gosh, you can genuinely mountain bike with this. Okay, so I was pushing it, right? And I'm fairly strong. I'm good at mountain biking. I do it regularly, but I haven't done it really that much this season. That is an extremely steep hill, guys. I don't want to underdo it that is a very steep hill. My legs are still burning, but oh my God, I did that in like 1/10 of the time. And I do literally mean maybe 1/10 of the time. That was incredibly fast. Too much fun, guys. Oh, the motor kicks in so well. We're gonna shift up here and oh, we're just going so fast. This feels so awesome. I'm speeding uphill right now. Really, what an awesome bike. Very excited to give this a full review, do some upgrades, new pedals. Again, if you want to check it out, links below. This is eRide Reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next video.